Well, a new report suggests nearly 16,000 Egyptians have been put behind bars since the military launched its crackdown on members and supporters of the Muslim Brotherhood back in July. The report, citing senior security officials, says about 3,000 top and mid-level Brotherhood members have been detained since the ouster of President Mohamed Morsi. The count, which is consistent with recent estimates by human rights groups, includes hundreds of women and minors. The flood of arrests has reportedly swamped Egyptian jails, with many inmates kept without charge for months. Rights activists have already reported abuse in prisons, with some inmates describing systematic torture and miserable conditions for dozens packed into tiny cells. For more on that story, our correspondent Mohamed Shalabi joins us now from the Egyptian capital, Cairo. Mohamed, please tell us more about the findings of this report, specifically about reports of abuse and torture and mistreatment in prisons.
Yes, body of these reports seem to be consistent. They also seem to be credible. Now, the 16,000 number mentioned by security officials for the very first time is less than the 23,000 mentioned by several independent human rights groups, and the 30,000 plus mentioned by the Muslim Brotherhood. But the number does seem to indicate that this is the vicinity where we're playing in now. So at least 16,000 to 30,000 plus. This is the number. As far as, and most of them are supporters of Army Deposed President Mohamed Morsi of the Muslim Brotherhood, but there are also many non-politically affiliated Egyptians, students, youth who took part in mostly peaceful protests, but were detained for participating in protests without prior permits. You also have many from the 6th of April youth movement, that secular youth movement that had led the move against ousted dictator Hosni Mubarak over 3 years ago. The reports of abuses seem to be credible, because you've had over the past few months, Bardia, several people who died inside prison camps because, as mentioned by their families, they did not receive proper treatment. They did not receive the medicaments they should have, and the proper health care, and thus died because of this negligence. You also have other cases where there are allegations of death via torture. You also have cases of reports of, but these cannot be confirmed, of rape or harassment inside these crowded jails as far as female detainees are concerned. The beatings, the verbal abuse, and they seem to be a tradition here in Egypt from the days of ousted dictator Hosni Mubarak, and before that, really. This country has been ruled, remember, for over 6 decades by the military. So you also have military jails where a number of detainees are held inside. Sure. You also have cases where some relatives who went to visit their loved ones inside their detainment camps were themselves arrested or beaten. So
okay,
the complaints.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it there. President Mohamed Shalabi speaking to us from the Egyptian capital, Cairo.